welcome to EyeOpener, powered by Siemens. And now, please welcome your host, Gugan Sangha.
I'm delighted to welcome Niall Sullivan from Senseye to this episode, where we're going to be discussing the importance of marketing, how Senseye's marketing has evolved, and the key challenges that we face when marketing in the predictive maintenance industry. Hi Niall, thank you for joining me on today's show. If you could start off by introducing yourself to our audience, that would be great.
Yeah, so thank you for inviting me. It is, but I must say it's very strange to be on this side chair. So yeah, my name's Niall. I'm the VP of Marketing at Senseye. So my role at Senseye is to lead the marketing function. So a team based in the UK, including your lovely self. And yeah, that involves every aspect of marketing, from partner marketing to digital marketing to just overseeing the strategy and budgeting side as well. So yeah, very exciting role.
Oh, perfect. Well, it's really great to have you today on the show. And I guess let's get straight into it about marketing, the topic of marketing, as you know, we both work in this field. And I just want to start off by asking you a question around Senseye in particular. How would you say our marketing has evolved over the last few years?
So from a Senseye perspective, I guess because I've only been at Senseye since April 2021, so I can only speak from that point. And obviously the company has been going, say, since 2014, so there's been a lot happening before. But what I can say is there has been a sort of a very big change since I started up until, say, the beginning of this year. So I guess up to the end of 2021, I'd say that we were following a more traditional sort of B2B SaaS marketing strategy. And there's nothing wrong with that at all, because you can see and you know the success of the company itself and how it's scaled, and number of customers and all that kind of thing. And this is based around sort of a lead. Yeah, when I say traditional approach, I mean a lead generation approach. So it's gathering contact details. It's doing things like content syndication. It's doing the usual things like pay-per-click and social media, and doing those tactics, which have led to a lot of great success, a lot of great customers. I guess the change I mentioned is actually, it was quite a drastic shift, which obviously you were a part of. But my goal in mind was, how could we make more of the resources we've got? In terms of, we're quite a small team. What we were doing before maybe didn't lend itself to a smaller team in some respects. So I felt we could get more out of the team, do more real marketing, as I'd like to call it, and hopefully, yeah, we've seen some really really great results. And the big point behind that is actually focusing more on demand gen tactics, educating the market using video and audio content, getting the most out of that content. So we're squeezing every last drop, creating from one video, lots of clips, lots of audio clips, getting as much out of that as possible, and then distributing that in the channels where our potential buyers are, and educating them to a point where they're ready to buy. And that's important, because there's a big misconception where sales want leads, everyone says, but it's not actually leads they want. They want people who are ready to buy, and that's the main sort of theory, let's say, behind my strategy.
Yeah. And I was going to touch on, so I know you mentioned around how it's changed. My question's really around the fact that we work in a software as a service industry and product type. Do you feel that has an impact on the type of marketing that we are doing for the company?
I think so. I think I'll go a bit more specific than that as well, because in SaaS can cover lots of different things, very transactional market products where you're talking tens of thousands of pounds for a sale, but what we're talking about with Senseye is actually a six-figure salary, and obviously with that becomes a more complex sales cycle. It's not just a decision, can't just be made like that to buy a product. Loads of people involved in the decision process. So what has to happen is there needs to be much more education involved. And that's why we as a team create all these different podcasts, all these different ebooks, all these different white papers, and promote it on social media, because it's not, it's sort of almost saying the same thing in a different way each time, because you're trying to reinforce the message in lots of different ways. So it's mainly the more, I guess, the more investment that needs to be made in a product, the more education sort of required, and it's getting the buy-in from the key stakeholders on the sort of prospect side, I guess.
Yeah. And I think that's what you mentioned around these different medias that we're using. So we've got all these, and Senseye has a wealth of content in different formats. We've got the white papers, we've got the ebooks, we've got video-based content, we've got infographics. From your perspective, what would you say is the best form of media to get our key messaging across to prospects and customers?
It's an interesting question. Yeah, it's sort of evolved over the years, actually. So I used to be my background's sort of copywriting. And I used to love writing and doing website and stuff like that. But I've certainly shifted as the market shifted from what I see, the way B2B marketing and SaaS marketing should be done is actually moved to more video and audio based. And the main reason behind that is it's obviously a very consumable medium. So people listen to podcasts in the car. You probably listen to podcasts yourself. People listen to videos as well. And from my point of view, because I'm a B2B buyer as well, and a B2B software buyer, and I think, do I have the time, or do I want to read a big long ebook or white paper? Generally not. In some occasions I do, if the content's good or it's original research, all that kind of thing. But the most consumable content, and what I find, and so thinking from that perspective, is actually video and audio is the best thing. And the main reason for that is you can create one long video like we're doing today, chop it up into shorter videos, shorter clips. You can turn it into a blog post if you wanted to. You can turn it into an audio podcast if you wanted to. So it can be distributed in all those different channels in all those different ways. And so, because audiences don't work in the same way, I'm sort of generalizing, saying, everyone listens to podcasts or everyone watches videos, but that's not the case. So we still have to cater to people who do like reading blog posts or do like reading white papers and stuff. So it's a blend of different content, but the key is being able to reuse what you've got already and not having to create everything from scratch, because it just slows down the whole content creation and distribution process.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I think the other thing as well with this industry of predictive maintenance, it is very complex. And maybe, the fact that we've got technology and everyone uses their smartphones, it's very easy for them to have a look at the content that we've got, because we've got different formats. So like you mentioned, you could be on your way to a business meeting and you could listen to a podcast, or you could be at your desk and you can read a blog, or, all of this, I think, helps to deliver what it is that we want them to see, read, or know about, right?
Yeah, I think the other interesting thing as well, and this is something that's developed in my own head as well, that all this content, video content we're creating, and we're chopping it up and we're putting it in different places. It's actually not just a marketing thing. So obviously our goal is we want qualified and ready to buy leads coming through the website, and then speaking to sales, and they're ready to buy and they want to progress. But what we talked about before was a complex sales cycle. So you could, in some cases, 12 to 18 months. That's a long time. And what you want to do for those, people at that stage is to continue to feed content through. So the content strategy doesn't stop at the point where they become known to us and say, I want a demo of your product. It's actually for that 12 and 18 months, you want to keep feeding content, keep reinforcing, let's say in our case, Senseye's key messaging. And so ultimately they get to the end of that process when they're comparing their 4 or 5 vendors. There's always going to be a big shortlist. So you want to stick in their mind. And if they're seeing, actually Senseye is produce, they know their stuff, because they're really, I saw this really great clip the other day. So what I'm also trying to do is encourage the sales team to take those clips, because a lot of them answer the questions, and that's what our content should do, is answer the questions that they're being asked throughout the sales process. And then hopefully we should see those sales cycles come down. That's the idea anyway, in the long term, because they're more educated.
Yeah, and I think that's it. I think individuals make this assumption about marketing, that marketing should just purely be used to win that prospect over, or, provide them with all the answers to their questions. So as soon as they've come on board with us, that's it. But it doesn't stop there, because you mentioned about this whole nurturing. So even after being a customer, we want to still make sure that we're conditioning them, and we've got information, and we're letting them know the key updates, and we're providing all of this. So at least when it comes to them maybe potentially being in a position of choosing between Senseye and another vendor, then they have all of that information which has been fed through the whole way from start to finish.
And actually, just to add to that as well, so it doesn't even it never ends, actually, it seems, but it doesn't even end when the contract's signed and the invoice comes in. It doesn't actually end there, because the next challenge as a marketing team we have in a lot of SaaS enterprise software products, it's actually not, there might be an initial deployment, but what we want to do is continue the education in order for them to want to expand to another site here, another site there, and continue that. And so there's a lot of focus, again, a lot of my focus is on sort of user and actually marketing towards what we call the champions, Senseye champions, who are the people who are inside our customers, who are, they're almost like an internal spokesperson or promoter of Senseye. And what we want to do is continue to market to them, get them excited about Senseye. And it's not just a marketing responsibility as well. It's obviously the delivery team and the sales and the account managers who form a key part of that. But marketing's role in that is to build the relationships from our side. And I've done that with a number of our customers. So they continue to promote Senseye and the benefits they're seeing. But yeah, that's not just a marketing thing. I'll make that clear. It's everything's marketing unless it goes wrong, of course. But no, it's a key part of the picture.
Yeah.
To find out more, search Senseye Predictive Maintenance.